Shocking news coming from the South Korean military. BTS Jungkook was reportedly involved in a conflict with his seniors in the military, and this rumor immediately became a hot topic of conversation on various social media platforms. Many are wondering, is it true that Jungkook is having trouble adapting to the strict military environment? Does his status as a global megastar make it difficult for him to adjust? Or is there another reason behind this news? In this video, we'll delve into all the speculations and find out what's really going on. Make sure you watch until the end. BTS Jungkook reveals conflict with senior in military. What really happened? Jungkook and the challenges of the military. Ever since Jungkook started his military service on December 12, 2023, his name has been in the spotlight. His status as one of the biggest idols in the world makes the public always curious about how he adapts to the notoriously strict military environment. It is undeniable that transitioning from the life of a superstar to the life of a soldier is certainly not an easy thing. As an idol who has lived a luxurious life with a schedule arranged by management, Jungkook now has to undergo the same routine as other soldiers. Waking up early in the morning, doing strenuous physical exercises, following various disciplinary rules, and undergoing military duties in challenging terrain. However, what is most challenging for an idol like Jungkook is the strict hierarchical system implemented in the South Korean military. In showbiz, Jungkook is used to a culture of mutual respect for fellow artists, but in the military, the rank and seniority system plays a much bigger role. Juniors are expected to follow all senior orders without question, and sometimes this pressure can be overwhelming, especially for someone who has never experienced this kind of environment before. So, what about the rumors of conflict? What really happened? The beginning of Jungkook's rumored conflict with seniors. A few weeks into Jungkook's military service, news suddenly surfaced that he was having trouble adapting. Some reports suggested that he got into a dispute with his seniors for not respecting the hierarchical system enough. Unofficial sources say that one of his seniors was unhappy with Jungkook's too casual attitude towards his duties. Some say that Jungkook did not immediately answer orders loudly as other soldiers usually do, but instead used a softer tone of voice. In the military, small things like this can be considered a form of disrespect. Seniors expect juniors to answer firmly and show a clearer attitude of respect. However, as someone who comes from the entertainment world, Jungkook may not be used to such rules. In addition, there is also speculation that Jungkook received different treatment from other recruits. Although he tried to be treated equally, it is undeniable that his status as a global star made some of his officers or fellow soldiers treat him a little more leniently. This allegedly led to jealousy among some seniors who thought that Jungkook was getting special treatment. However, is this really the case? Or is it just a misunderstanding exaggerated by the media? Jungkook finally opens up. After these rumors continued to grow, Jungkook's representative finally clarified. In his official statement, Jungkook denied that he had a conflict with his senior. He explained that there are differences in perspective and communication style, but it is not a big problem. Jungkook emphasized that he has great respect for all seniors and follows military rules with discipline. He also mentioned that he is constantly trying to adjust and understand the military culture, which is much different from his life as an idol. In addition, some sources from the military environment also said that no serious conflicts occurred. There were only minor misunderstandings that have been resolved properly. In fact, some seniors even praised Jungkook as a disciplined and adaptable person. However, despite this clarification, the rumors still can't stop. Fan reaction and social media. When these rumors started to spread, many fans were worried. They know that Jungkook is a person who always maintains his attitude and is unlikely to be disrespectful to his seniors. Therefore, many fans tried to find out the truth behind this rumor. On social media, some fans defended Jungkook by showing various proofs that he has always been polite to his elders, both in interviews and interactions with his bandmates. In fact, throughout his years in BTS, he has always shown respect to members who are older than him. On the other hand, there are also those who argue that this rumor arose because of Jungkook's outsized status. It is undeniable that the media is always looking for loopholes to exaggerate news about big idols like him. Some people also think that this is part of the challenges that Jungkook will have to face during his military service. Many other idols have previously experienced similar pressures when entering the military, and these kinds of rumors almost always arise. However, despite the speculations, one thing that is certain is that Jungkook is doing his job well and continues to strive to be a responsible soldier. The pressure Jungkook faces in the military. Are these rumors part of a mental test? After the clarification provided by Jungkook and several sources in the military, the question that remains is, why did a rumor like this spread so quickly? Is this purely a misunderstanding? Or are there other factors that make this issue grow? If we look back at the history of idols who served in the military, many of them faced tremendous pressure, both from the internal and external environment. Jungkook, as one of the biggest idols in the world, is certainly not immune from this. In fact, his prominent position may have made him face even greater challenges than other recruits. Since he began his service, the public has been watching his every move in the military. Many want to know how he will adapt, whether he will have difficulties during training, and how he will interact with fellow soldiers. This kind of pressure is certainly not experienced by ordinary recruits. On the one hand, Jungkook may be trying to adjust and carry out his duties like other soldiers. However, on the other hand, he is still a public figure who has high expectations from various parties. If he stands out too much, he could be considered to be getting special treatment. If he is too humble and tries to blend in with others, he will still be talked about because of his status as a global star. So, could these rumors be just part of the mental test that is common in the military? The military and mental tests, an unwritten tradition. In the South Korean military, juniors are often given mental tests by their seniors. This is not a form of bullying, but rather a mental formation process that is considered important for building a soldier's character. Usually, these tests take the form of additional tasks, a greater workload, and rules that must be strictly adhered to. The seniors want to see how strong a recruit's mentality is in the face of pressure, because in real combat conditions, a strong mentality can be the deciding factor between life and death. Many idols who previously served in the military have experienced similar challenges. Some of them have even been the subject of baseless rumors. One example is 2PM's Taeseon, who is said to receive special treatment because of his celebrity status, even though he was actually one of the most disciplined soldiers. Jungkook himself may be going through a similar phase. It is possible that his seniors just want to test how he responds to pressure and whether he can survive in a military environment without special treatment. However, because Jungkook is a big name, every small incident can easily turn into big news on social media. How does Jungkook face this challenge? From various news reports, Jungkook is known as someone who always tries to give his best in every situation. As an idol, he has experienced various pressures since a young age. Since his debut with BTS, he has faced various challenges ranging from competition in the music industry, high expectations from fans, to the pressure to maintain his status as a global superstar. Now, in the military, he must face a different challenge. There is no grand stage, no camera flashes, and no fans cheering him on. Jungkook is just one of thousands of soldiers who must obey the rules strictly. However, there is one thing that makes Jungkook superior to other recruits, namely his strong mentality. Since childhood, Jungkook has been known to be very disciplined and hardworking. He never gives up on challenges, whether during vocal practice, dancing, or in between his busy schedule as a member of BTS. Most likely, he will face the military in the same way. He may experience more pressure than other soldiers, but he also has a stronger determination to prove himself. How does the military handle this issue? After the news spread widely, several sources from the military stated that there was no conflict to worry about. They said that Jungkook was doing his job well and that he was not given any special treatment. However, behind this official statement, there is a question that still remains. Does the military really want to suppress this issue so that it does not get bigger? Or do they just want to ensure that the military environment remains conducive without interference from the media? If we look at previous cases, the South Korean military is usually quite strict in handling issues involving celebrities. They do not want the impression that an idol is getting special treatment because it can trigger dissatisfaction among other recruits. On the other hand, The military also does not want to let wild rumors grow, because it can damage their reputation. Therefore, they tend to take quick steps to suppress the existing issue and ensure that Jungkook can complete his service without any interference. Support from BTS's colleagues and fans. After the rumor spread, BTS fans around the world showed their full support for Jungkook. They tried to spread the facts that prove that Jungkook always respects his seniors and is unlikely to be involved in serious conflicts. Several other BTS members also indirectly showed their support. Although they did not make direct statements, they still showed solidarity by uploading messages of support on social media or discussing Jungkook on several occasions. This support certainly became additional energy for Jungkook to survive and complete his military service well. As part of BTS, he is used to facing great pressure, and with the support of his colleagues and army around the world, he was able to get through this period stronger. After various speculations regarding rumors of conflict with his seniors in the military, the next question that arises is, how does Jungkook really deal with this situation? Is he starting to adapt well? Or are there other challenges he faces behind the scenes that are not widely known to the public? The military world is not something that can be lived casually, especially for an idol who is used to a very different life. From a daily life filled with music practice schedules, performances, and trips to various countries, Jungkook now has to live a life that is much more structured and full of strict rules. Every day, he had to wake up earlier than usual, follow a strict physical training schedule, attend various training sessions, and of course, follow all the orders from his seniors and superiors. No cameras, no spotlights, and no special treatment, just discipline and responsibility to live by every day. However, as someone who has been used to working hard since a young age, Jungkook has an advantage in facing this challenge. Since his trainee days at Big Hit Entertainment, he has experienced various rigorous training, faced criticism from trainers, and formed a strong mentality to be able to survive in a competitive industry. This helped him in dealing with the pressures in the military. Jungkook's adaptation in the military, from idol to real soldier. One of the biggest challenges for an idol who enters the military is adjusting to a completely different environment. If in the entertainment world someone can show their uniqueness and creativity, in the military everyone must obey the same rules, without exception. From the beginning of his training, Jungkook began to show that he was not just undergoing military service as a formality. Several reports from other recruits stated that Jungkook was very serious about following all the rules given. He never tried to find shortcuts or ask for special treatment just because of his status as a global star. There are several aspects of military life that are likely to be a big challenge for Jungkook. Strict time discipline. If previously he had a schedule that could be arranged by management or even experienced flexibility in working, in the military everything must be done according to a schedule. Waking up early, doing physical exercise, eating within a limited time, and sleeping at a predetermined time are routines that cannot be changed. Intense physical training. Although Jungkook is known as a BTS member who has a strong physique and exercises regularly, physical training in the military is still much harder. In addition to basic training such as long-distance running and push-ups, he also has to train in difficult terrain conditions, such as survival training in the forest and combat training in extreme conditions. Strict hierarchy system. If in BTS Jungkook is the maknae, youngest member, who is always loved by his youngs, in the military he is again a junior who must be completely obedient to his seniors. Even an age difference of only a few months can be a determining factor in who must be more submissive in the military hierarchy. However, despite facing all these challenges, Jungkook reportedly continues to try to show full dedication. He never complained and tried to give his best in every task. Is it true that Jungkook received special treatment? One of the issues that emerged amidst the rumors of conflict with his seniors was speculation that Jungkook received special treatment because of his status as a world star. Some media even mentioned that he was not treated like a regular recruit and was given convenience in various aspects. However, sources from the military denied this. They emphasized that Jungkook was treated the same as other recruits and no special treatment was given to him. In fact, several recruits who were in the same year as Jungkook said that he actually worked harder than the others. Instead of using his popularity to get special treatment, Jungkook tried hard to prove that he could undergo military service with full dedication. Of course, as an idol with great influence, he cannot really escape the public spotlight. However, from various reports, Jungkook seems to be trying to undergo military service in the most normal way he can. Currently, Jungkook is still in the early stages of his journey in the military. Despite facing various challenges, he has shown that he is able to adapt and carry out his duties well. The rumor of conflict with his seniors may be just a small test in his long journey in the military. However, one thing is for sure, Jungkook has a strong mentality and will not give up easily. For fans, the best thing to do now is to continue to support him and wait for him to return to the entertainment world with more experiences and new stories. What do you think? Will Jungkook face more challenges in the future, or will he be even more respected for his dedication? Let us know your thoughts in the comments column. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest updates about Jungkook and BTS.